Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, a Central Kentucky man leads police on a chase through several counties before being arrested. And Democrats will see a change in Congress after Nancy Pelosi announces she will not seek a leadership position.
Plus, cold weather continues despite the widespread sunshine. The very latest on the way is Mountain News at 5:30. Starts now.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. A Central Kentucky man is in jail today accused of leading police on a chase through several counties. He's also accused of nearly hitting a deputy sheriff. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what took place.
The chase started in Garrett County. It ended here in Boyle County very early this morning. Speeds of 100 miles an hour exceeded and spike strips being deployed. Still, they say this driver didn't stop. It all started just after 1:30 this morning in Lancaster when police received a call of someone using a crowbar to bust out a truck's window. When officers showed up, they say Paul David Brown yanked his adult son out of a truck and took off, nearly hitting a Garrett County deputy sheriff. Lincoln County deputies say they spotted Brown off Highway 150 and followed him on River Drive, where witnesses say that he drove through several yards. Police say the chase went from downtown Stanford to Highway 150 towards Danville, where the truck drove the wrong way on the 4-lane highway. Deputies say they were finally able to get Brown to stop when he lost traction in Junction City. A taser was used, but they say Brown still resisted. They say they were finally able to get him under control. Brown was arrested on multiple charges, but he was also served an outstanding warrant from a crime that they say happened about a week ago, where he led police on a chase exceeding speeds of 120 miles an hour on Perryville Road. Boyle County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Paul David Brown is being held in the Pulaski County Detention Center.
Cold but clear night throughout the mountains tonight, and we will continue to see much colder conditions as we head through the next several nights. Here's a look outside from UVA Wise, where we see plenty of, well, orange in the sky there along the horizon as we continue to see the last of the sun's rays fall below the horizon. 32 there now. That's one of our cooler spots, joining Irvin. Morehead's at 30. Many of us now, in fact, all of us, down into the low 30, or down into the 30s. Some of us in the upper 30s. Others still in the middle 30s. Pinpoint Doppler this evening is all quiet, and we will continue to see quiet conditions through the evening hours. A few clouds out there. We're falling through the 30s and into the 20s as we head through the overnight. Now, in a few minutes, I'll have the details on when we could see a return to some at least closer to normal temperatures. That's in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi is ending her historic run as Speaker of the House. CBS's Skylar Henry is on Capitol Hill with that story, as well as a look at where Congress goes from here.
For what purpose does the gentlewoman from California seek recognition?
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced she's stepping down from a leadership position within the Democratic Party.
For me, the hours come for a new generation to lead the Democratic caucus that I so deeply respect.
Pelosi was the first woman in U.S. history to ever serve as Speaker of the House. And she said she was proud that Congress has become more inclusive during her time.
In my 35 years in the House, I have seen this body grow more reflective of our great nation, our beautiful nation.
New York Congressman Hakeem Jeffries is the favorite to take over as minority leader, which could put him in position to someday become the first black Speaker of the House.
I think it's always good for a party to have new blood and new invigoration, enthusiasm, and new ideas.
Congressman Steny Hoyer, the #2 Democrat in the House, is also stepping down from a leadership post.
Had Ms. Pelosi stayed on as leader of the Democrats, she would have had to turn over the Speaker's gavel after voters gave Republicans control of the House.
One-party Democrat rule in Washington is finished. We have fired Nancy Pelosi.
Republicans say they plan to use their newly gained subpoena power to launch investigations of President Biden.
We have repeatedly called on the Biden Treasury Department to release additional financial documents to committee Republicans, but thus far Treasury has refused.
The entire House will vote on a new speaker when the new Congress convenes at noon on January 3rd. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Republicans voted earlier this week for Kevin McCarthy to be their nominee for the Speaker's position in the new Congress. However, he does not yet have the full support of the Republican caucus, which he'll likely need given the slim majority Republicans will have in the next session. The U.S., Poland, and Ukraine are all working to gather information on what caused a missile to land in Poland on Tuesday. Polish President Andrzej Duda said today that he's trying to support Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky following what he called an unintentional incident that left 2 people dead on Tuesday when a missile landed in a Polish village near the border with Ukraine. Duda said, quote, "Nobody wanted to hurt anyone in Poland," end quote. He added that they have not found any traces of a second missile on Polish territory. 3 men have been convicted in a court in the Netherlands of downing a Malaysia Airlines passenger plane in 2014. Flight MH17 was shot down over eastern Ukraine, killing all 298 passengers and crew. At the time, the area was the scene of fighting between pro-Russian separatists and Ukrainian forces. Of the 4 men accused of downing the airliner, 3 are Russian and 1 is Ukrainian. The court has found 2 former Russian intelligence officers and a Ukrainian separatist leader guilty of murder and intentionally causing an aircraft to crash. A judge has ruled in favor of Gabby Petito's family in a wrongful death lawsuit against the estate of Brian Laundrie. The Petito family has been awarded a judgment of $3 million. However, according to an attorney for Petito's parents, $3 million is an arbitrary number, and whatever money they do receive will go to the Gabby Petito Foundation, which helps support victims of domestic violence and organizations that look for missing persons. Petito's body was found in Wyoming's Bridger-Teton National Forest after she embarked on a cross-country road trip with her fiancé, Brian Laundrie. The cause of death was determined by a coroner to be strangulation. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, looking to take advantage of the student loan forgiveness plan? So are scammers. What you need to know to protect yourself and your money.
Plus, cold air continues during the day and definitely at night. Those details on the way after this.